All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Star Ladder Star Series Season 10 American Playoffs. It's Evil Geniuses versus Navi US in the upper bracket finals. Of course, thank you so much for joining us here on the Star Ladder stream. My name is Ma. Joining me tonight is Nahaz. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. My head is absolutely spinning after reading through the 6.82 changes, which I am going to try not to talk about during this game because we got a good one here. If you are a fan of NA Dota, this is pretty much the death match. EG, obviously a top-tier team in the world right now. Vici Gaming have looked very, very good recently. Newbie, obviously, are the TI4 champions. But I am not sure if you gave me EG right now against any other team on a neutral court that I would be able to pick against them. I think their level of play is terrific. I'm interested in some of the things that C9 has been doing lately. I feel like they've shown a lot of improvement, but EG to me are the kings of Dota right now. Navi US has been playing really well themselves. They have one of the highest win percentages this month in Pro Dota 2, and the strange thing is, despite a lot of roster instability, we've seen a lot of stand-ins for them. They're using, I believe, Pink Panda is way too.
Yes.
Not sure who MJW is.
That's bananas in your face. I don't stand by in the American scene. He's been around for some time, but certainly not somebody that anyone would really know in terms of, I think, his credibility. But he's certainly a very strong and solid player, and he's been standing in for a couple of squads as well. So
sure.
I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table here for Navi US. And you mentioned it, Evil Geniuses, no one in their right mind would probably pick against them here, especially in this best-of-3 series, especially with Navi US using 2 stand-ins. But that doesn't mean that we won't get a great series. That doesn't mean that Navi US can't take this, because they certainly are. And you talk about some of these players. Korok is one of the best in the American scene. I think a lot of people kind of underrate him in terms of his playstyle.
You could not be talking to a better person if you want to make that point, because I feel like Korok has upped his game so much lately in a strange way. I almost feel like some of the roster instability has been a good thing for him, because he's kind of switched back and forth between roles. He's played some excellent support games, particularly on his Earthshaker. He's had a couple of gyrocopter games where his pace of farm has just been outstanding.
Yes.
And I really feel like he's just gone back to this super aggressive mentality where he's been going for some pretty high-risk builds, but he's also been playing very smart in individual engagements. So, I really like what I've seen from him lately. And, I think, look, as you said, Navi US are certainly a long shot to win this series, but I really do think that they can give EG a match.
They absolutely can, and you talk about the aggressive nature of Korok, and that's one of the things that when you talk about Korok, when you talk about Steven, that's just how he plays. I had the luxury of playing and spending a lot of time with both Korok and Fogged at TI4, playing a lot of matches with Korok, just in the midst of like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. after they got knocked out. And we just played a lot of Dota. And you play ARDM with this guy or any Dota match with this guy, and he's like, listen, let's just go run at people. That's just the style of play that Korok loves to have. And it often pays off for him because he knows when to run at people. He knows when to sit back, and he's one of the most aggressive carries or, mid laners in that situation. For Evil Geniuses, they're all about kind of this methodical play style. However, they're so calm about everything that they do, and I also listen to them and the way they drafted at the summit. I had the pleasure of listening to them and the way they talk and the way they react to things. They don't ever get too overexcited. PPD has this kind of just monotone but very strict voice when it comes to dictating play and making decisions, and he will immediately say that if he's made a mistake, he will say, listen guys, that was my fault. So that's what I love about EG, is also the accountability and patience.
What? What?
That came out of left field. No one was expecting that pick. All right, we're going for it, boys. We're picking the Tusk. Let's do it.
In some ways, Tusk is legit, man. As a support, that snowball alone is just ridiculous. Like high skill, save your teammates, rush into the other team kind of setup potential. I don't know that I've seen it used to its full capacity in a pro match just yet. I don't think a lot of players have had enough reps on him yet to kind of realize the potential of that ability. But why not? In theory, right? If you go hardcore into the theory crafting, Tusk could be early in the draft potential.
Yes.
Because we've seen him run successfully as a support. We've seen him run in the past as a core, although not very much. But if you look at his skill set, he's got a sufficiently flexible skill set that he doesn't give away a lot of information on your draft when he's picked. Right. So again, I mean, if you're hardcore into the theory crafting, he is potentially early pick material. Now, it's awfully surprising just because we just don't see that hero picked up much. And I mean, he's going to be there for you as a 5th pick for sure. But this is, I mean, I feel like Peter does this about as well as anybody in Dota. I mean, I feel like he mind games sometimes with his drafts. And I feel like he does it probably better than anybody else I've ever seen, with the possible exception of Puppy like 2 years ago. And maybe Puppy now that he's gotten back with Team Secret. I think his drafting is back, but that's another topic.
And that's the mind game right there. You see it, the Centaur pickup, that might not have happened had they not picked Tusk in that situation, because you talk about a Tusk-Centaur combo, that's the stability with that hero. So, I mean, it already goes to show there. And PPD, you'll talk to him also. He's just like, he thinks that almost every hero is viable. Like he loves exploiting the fact that people are just in this strict metagame, and EG will, take what is ever at their, whatever they have at the potential, and they'll work with it, which I really love about Evil Geniuses. And so the Centaur pickup for Navi US, a bit early, but I guess, unsurprisingly so.
No, and building on that, because I feel like you put that just absolutely perfectly, right? It's ironic to me that early on in the development of the current meta, EG was a team that tended to draft for lane dominance. And as every other team has sort of gone exclusively to that, as like the Razors, the Vipers, the Death Prophets, have become just the staples of the metagame, I feel like EG has actually branched out. And this is the thing. Because of the skill of their players, they're able to make lineups work in the laning phase that wouldn't necessarily work for other teams. They're able to survive a bad laning phase, I feel like, a little bit more effectively than a lot of teams are. And actually, Peter made this point in a game that he cast a while ago with Cap that I happen to be listening to. He basically said, look, the transition from the laning phase to the mid game and from the mid game to the late game is something that you control.
Yes.
It's not just this thing that happens to you. You have the ability to dictate that tempo and manage it according to when your lineup will be at an advantage. And that's something, that one thing is something that I feel like they do better as a team than anybody else, and it's not even close.
Yeah, honestly, they just, I feel like in terms of in-game knowledge, especially with Fear on their team, there's not many people that are better in terms of the mechanical knowledge of Dota. And it's just, that comes with veteran presence that they have. And all of these players have been around for years. And some, obviously, in other games, such as Han with PPD and Zai. But, I mean, you're talking about Fear and Universe, who go way back to TI1. Arteezy is probably the newest player when it comes to this game. He's been even playing since a long time, even Dota 1 to a certain extent. And he's been around for a while, just playing in in-houses and stuff. Not that Navi US haven't been around, but and
as you were saying that, I was about to mention, I would put Fogged up on that level in terms of his game knowledge as well. Every single time I have heard Fogged talk about Dota, I've been impressed. This guy, it knows a lot. And actually, I really like some away to support play as well. I feel like he's a pretty cerebral player, especially when you put him on that Shadow Shaman, which hasn't been banned here yet. I feel like he can be a real difference maker. Snaking is the one player that has kind of been up and down lately for Navi US. And I feel like a lot of times he plays very efficient farming games, and I feel like, people flame Eternal Envy, for example, a lot for feeding away what look to be needless kills. But at the end of the match, when you look at his farming numbers, they're always there. And I look at his play and I wonder, I mean, it's so much about efficiency with him. Sometimes he's willing to feed a death if he feels like, look, I want to farm this part of the map. I'm going to get my resources out of it. And if they gank me, if they devote enough resources to bring their whole team over here and kill me, that's fine.
Yeah.
I still come out ahead and I create an advantage for my team.
Space created, as they say. So.
I mean, but there is this, you're right. People say that kind of jokingly, but I mean, there is a very serious element to that.
Yes.
That if you're pulling four enemy heroes away from their lanes to come and gank you at 12 minutes into the game, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But then again, you got to be careful with that mentality because you can really compromise your team's ability if those trades go bad. I mean, boy, I tell you what, this EG lineup, though, can we look at this a minute and say, how do you fight these guys?
It's just like, you don't really want to fight into Ravage. You don't want to fight into Poison Nova. Jakiro has Liquid Fire, Dual Breath, and Macro Pyre that you have to deal with. So, and they have initiation for now the US, yes, for a Centaur Warwinder, for a Razor. They have extended team fight potential, but like Evil Geniuses are just like, listen, if you want to fight into us, we're just going to wear you down and throughout the fight. So I think that's really important for Evil Geniuses lineup here. And it's really tough to decide where everyone's going to be landing because you really don't have an idea yet as to who's, you could say maybe Jakiro is going to be a core here in this situation.
Yeah, it's going to be Universal. It's very likely going to be Universe offlane Tidehunter. You're very likely going to see Jakiro. I should say Universe solo lane Tidehunter. You're very likely going to see Jakiro as the farmer in a tri lane, either on the off lane or the safe lane. Right now, I would have to guess Venom mid, and that I really dislike Venom mid, but these guys know what they're doing. I mean, the problem with Venom mid is you say, okay, well, he's not vulnerable in a 1v1 situation. He's not as vulnerable in a 1v1 situation to the Razor and the Viper because he can just CS with his wards and he can be safe. The problem, though, is that pushes the lane. And Venno is very slow, and apart from a perfect Gale, he really has no ability to protect himself from those early ganks.
Mm-hmm.
So the one question to me with this EG lineup so far is where they're going to put the Venomancer, because I think they could build a dynamite tri-lane around this Jakiro and the Tusk.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, honestly, just to have to deal with Ice Shards alone and then Snowball on top of that, the threat of a Snowball is scary to begin with. And you could actually throw a Snowball with any hero that has any really reliable disable, honestly. Just like Snowball, Venge, Snowball, even Jakiro might even work out to a certain extent because of, Ice Path. But they have to pick their last hero now with 28 seconds left in reserve time. It's certainly an unorthodox draft, at least. We don't see Tusk too often. Has been picked a lot in the Chinese scene by teams like, I think Vici's picked it a couple of times, but I've seen Lai Gaming and LV Gaming run it to a certain extent, a Hyper Glory team as well. So the Chinese scene is starting to pick up on this hero and the fact that it can work and it works really well. Sigil's not bad either. Sigil's a pretty good ability too when you consider his entire pool. So they're going to pick up the Luna though. Okay. An interesting last pick now coming up for EG.
So yeah, this is, and again, this is to me the trademark of a top team drafting, right? You look at their 5-hero lineup and you're still not, you look at your 5-hero lineup and you know their players pretty well, and you're still not 100% confident about how they're going to lane it, which I think is just so important. The laning phase is so important in the game right now that anytime you can avoid giving information away to your opponents, I mean, even if you force them to spend 30 seconds in the early game switching up their lanes, that's an advantage that you can't afford to ignore right now.
Mm-hmm. It's something that we've talked about before. And with Evil Geniuses, they certainly have a lineup that's kind of making people scratch their heads here. And the last pick, Doom, coming up from Navi US, they went to Big Lots for that Doom pick. They really, that's a fifth pick Doom. This is what I thought you might see.
I thought you might see Arteezy on the Luna, and I wonder if she's going to be the mid. So I
was actually thinking that. This is ridiculous.
You could run him mid on the Luna, put Fear up top solo in the safe lane, and tri-lane around Universe's Tidehunter with both the Jakiro and the Tusk support. I think that's a tough lineup. I mean, it really revolves, if they're going to have success, right? That tri-lane really revolves on the fact that PPD is the best support Jakiro out there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he is probably as good as Fog used to be on that hero, or maybe even a little better, because Jakiro's spells, the reason that the reason that he and Venno almost have to be run as cores now is because there's the scaling on their spells just sucks.
Yes.
With Venno, it's worse than Jakiro, but Jakiro's is pretty bad. Like level 1 Ice Path is shit.
Yeah, it's not very good. It used to be amazing, but
exactly. I really wish they hadn't nerfed it.
Well,
anyway,
that's the way it goes. But also, if this is going to be a mid lane Luna, when was the last time you've seen a mid Luna? Which at this point, it doesn't necessarily appear to be. It looks like Fear is going to go mid. And this is the thing. They're going to give Arteezy a hero that he can farm with, and they want to give Fear a hero that he can make plays with. And this is something that PPD talked about, is just making sure that you have role switches available to your roster and making sure that you can kind of just, change things around when you need to. And this is very important for the EG lineup, in my opinion.
I completely agree. And I think that's becoming a necessary part of the current metagame, that if assuming 6.82 doesn't just totally turn the house upside down, which is a big assumption. If we end up in anything like the current meta, I think more and more teams are going to have to do this because the laning phase is so important. I mean, role flexibility it just gives you so much of an advantage. I mean, it's like poker, going into a table and having your opponents know the style that you're going to play versus not. Yeah. Not giving away information is so important.
It absolutely is. And, of course, we are going to jump into the match here, this best-of-3 series. Game number 1, and, well, this might be one of the last times we look at the map in its current form.
And
we have no idea when the patch is going to drop, but...
Yeah, it is on the test client. So if you guys want to go, and there are screenshots already up, if you want to go and play with the new map, you can download the test client, and it apparently is all there. It's going to be... It's nuts, man. I can't believe that.
We were asking for that change for a while, though. We were all like, okay, we really need Dota to not be the way it is right now. Just like change it in any way possible. And they changed it a lot.
I was never like that with the map. I think the map is fine the way it is. The one thing I think that I might really like about it is the fact that I think the Radiant offlane might not be so ridiculously easy now. And that might counterbalance some of the fact that the Roche pit is a little bit more even. But still, I think the asymmetry of the map adds to the metagame, not subtracts from it. But again, a lot of people don't share that opinion, and that's fine.
Well, you're going to start out here. MJW or Bananas in your face. Going to be your offlane, dude. He's going to get... Well, I started right now.
On. Wow.
Scorched Earth going through, and that's a lot of damage. That's Dual Breath level 1. He has to pop the Scorched Earth, but he stays alive just fine, so... Already they're asserting their dominance over this lane here. In the mid lane, Fear is up against a pretty tough matchup in Snake King, but we'll see if he can get things done. Right now he's got a point in Gale, point in Sting as well. He's getting Static Link, and Snake King's just got to steal some easy damage. Plasma Field, which doesn't hit on Fear. And Snake King goes back to farming here. So again, it really comes down to Fear getting his, I think, Plague Wards up early on in this game.
Man, I gotta say, like, I gotta fanboy a little bit for Fear. He is one of the... I think he might be the only player that I've seen excel at all 5 roles in pro matches. I really love that.
I mean, for someone that's been around this long, you expect him to be this good at Dota, but it's always impressive to see when he can play some of these heroes, and he's doing that right now. Obviously, still, it's early on in the game. We'll have to see if he thrives on this Venomancer. Down bottom, Universe is going to be your offlane Tidehunter, getting harassed down by Fog down your Ancient Apparition. We'll have Korok on your Centaur Warrunner. We'll have Pink Panda, which is, I believe, going to be way too
sexy
on your Rubik, and one of his standby heroes, I think, on the Rubik right now.
Absolutely.
Snake King. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting match. Universe is going to run right into Fog. Fog goes up to the high ground for whatever reason. He didn't put a ward down. I'm not sure. He does get the 2-minute rune, however, which is the Illusion rune, and he'll scout some Dire Ancients out with this. I believe we'll just block them just to make sure they're not getting stacked.
Now, we talked a lot, by the way, about EG's laning decisions and not so much about Navi US. I actually really like the one-position Centaur here. I think Centaur is a hero that comes online early, gives you tactical options in the mid-game, and he's a better late-game hero than people think. I mean, if you saw the crazy game the other day with Fnatic and VP where... I believe, Fnatic had VP's thrown down to 70 HP. Centaur's return dealt a ridiculous amount of damage in that match. If this hero gets strength items online, Snake King gets scaled up. Probably not in danger here, but the harass is pretty strong.
Yeah, the Static Link, and look at the Fear right-click coming out. He might dive this for the first blood. He's looking for the bottle up. Poison Sting coming out. Fear, maybe a little too deep, taking tower hits. Looks like he might get the kill. Plasma Field. Fear does get first blood. He sacrifices himself for the first blood, but it's certainly worth it. An excellent pickup coming out from Fear here in this mid lane.
Yeah, that leaves him a full level ahead of the Razor, and that's right at that 3-minute mark, right at the time where getting that first blood will hit you to level 5 over their level 4. That's hugely valuable. I mean, I can't believe Fear is doing that well in this lane. The CS gap isn't even that big.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an impressive play. To also just be able to zone out that Static Link and use that Gale effectively to do so. Snake King is now going to have a rough time here for the foreseeable future because level 3 Plague Wards, it's going to start getting difficult here for Snake King rather quickly. And Gale's going to go again. Fear wants to try to fight this. Plasma Field going to fly. And this is a hero that is damn good in this current meta. And Fear is just tearing him apart. Snake King having kind of a rough time, so...
I'm a little bit surprised that the supports of Navi US have not looked to roam, because they've done that so effectively in the last few matches that I've seen. But, again, I feel like some of that is just this kind of wacky EG lineup that it makes you question. It makes you hesitate a little bit, I feel like, especially against a team of their skill. I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised. You're seeing Fog move around the map a little bit on his AA. He did get the last couple of runes, but they feel like they've been a little too passive to me in the early game.
Yeah.
Might try to set up for something on Fear here.
Yeah, Fear is getting wrapped on right now by Fog. He does have the invisibility. He also has the chilling touch, and I think there is enough damage to bring Fear down if they do catch him out of position, but he's staying pretty far back now, and top lane's also getting hampered. The tier 1 tower taking a big hit here, and it looks like Arteezy is looking to get the last hit early on, and this is exactly what you should be doing. He does get the last hit, 1,000 gold in the bank, and he is leading the CS charts, not by much. Korok is kind of close behind him, and he's looking to get that early blink dagger, and again, it's Korok's type of hero, so this works out really well for Navi US.
Wow, and Arteezy, by the way, is just kind of farming his face off up here, and really hasn't been threatened much, if at all. I mean, you can see he feels comfortable going all the way down to the tier 2 tower, mostly due to the passivity that the Navi US supports have shown so far in this match. And that's kind of, they've let Fear get all he wants out of this mid lane, and Arteezy all he wants out of the top lane. They are getting farm on Korok in exchange, but you gotta wonder. You're giving up free farm essentially on a Luna in exchange for free farm on a Centaur. That's a risky trade.
I think you have to make this blink dagger, worth it early on in the game.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Zai rotates mid. They're going to look for an ice ball here, maybe a snowball.
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?
Scale going through. There's going to be the static link. Snaking about to fall. However, they get the kill with the ice shards. Now it looks like Zai is in trouble here, going down to the scorch shift, but the frozen sigil and the plague ward. They can't chase him down. Can they get this kill? The stick. Oh my god, that stick save. My god, the tower hit was going to kill him, but he sticks up and stays alive. Zai, what a player. And even lost 70 damage there coming out from that Razor, so unbelievable.
I am like the biggest unabashed Zai fanboy. Like, are you serious with this guy's plays? Are you freaking kidding me? You lived through that? You're down behind the Radiant tier 1 tower with how many heroes around you? Goodness gracious, that's like stupid.
I think that was 3 or 4. I'm not sure if they had the rotation over from
I think it was
Fog
3
yet,
eventually. That's ridiculous. As a support Tusk, you dive in behind the Radiant tier 1 tower, and it's like, no big deal, guys.
That stick just paid for itself in the spades.
Oh,
like,
sure.
He's saved up. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna wait till the last tower hit. Now I use my stick. He ends up living, and he's doing pretty well for himself. He's level 4 right now. He's yet to use a snowball here in a gank, but ice shards are going to come mid. They miss on Snaking. Snaking has died twice already as this mid lane Razor. They are shutting him down.
Just a nightmare.
I mean, he still has really good CS in comparison to that of Fear, who's only got 27, but I mean, the fact that you're dying is huge. And now, look at these rotations over from EG. They're looking to be a part of something here. Universe is 5, no 6 yet, but he has Gush if he needs to. Snaking gets scaled up. There's the Poison Stink from the Plague Ward as well. They're not going to dive this time, but still, Snaking is just like, I can't get anything done in this lane. Team, help me.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that far behind, but oh gosh, Fog just
Ice Path Stampede just a bit too late. Can Zai get this kill? Ice Shards, he misses them. No, but the Lucid Beam from Luna. Max range on that cast point.
That's
gets
even
the kill.
worse, right? I mean, you wish that you'd been hit by, you wish you hadn't juked the Ice Shards.
They are getting everything they want out of this matchup in this game and more, honestly, with maybe the exception of Korok farming. This is just, I mean, you look at Arteezy, he's got 56 last hits now in this top lane, and they're looking to take a tier 2 tower, all for a 7-minute and 42-second blink dagger for Korok. He has to make this work, otherwise this game is going to go south very quickly.
I mean, I gotta ask you, man, do you feel like Navi US are playing a little scared here?
I think that's the case. There's the Eclipse coming through. Korok gets caught out. The Ice Path, he blinked too far forward. He might die to the Liquid Fire. Now the Snowball coming through, trying to save Arteezy's life. We'll see if he can get out. The stud coming in. Arteezy not going to get the Lucid Beam off. Zai getting brought down low. And they lose Korok, yes, but they do get the 2 kills. And the most important of being on Arteezy as well, so...
Yeah, and most importantly, Snaking is over and is involved in those kills, right? So he picks up a little bit of XP. He's now nearly back to XP parity with Fear here in this mid lane. That was a big exchange for them. That was really the first big exchange that had gone their way, and they needed it, right? Especially the kill on Arteezy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that stops him from farming for, without that death, he probably goes, 75, 80 CS at 10 minutes. Not 80, but still, he'd be in a pretty good situation.
Big smoke rotation coming in here. Snaking is dead if he doesn't spot this out.
And PP, or rather, Way 2, getting spotted first. They do break the smoke. Now Snaking
they're going to go for him. He's already low on HP.
Lucent Beam, and good snowball coming out from Zada. They grab an easy kill, and yet Snaking's woes continue, and they'll try to pressure down this tier 1 tower, which is rather low, and it's going to go down to Fear yet again. 9 minutes in. 2 towers down. The tier 2 in the top lane also at about 170 HP or so. And this is just EG's game right now. They show no signs of stopping in terms of just balling out of control and being able to get a couple of kills and tower last hits.
Yeah, but I mean, this is kind of what I mean about Snaking, what I was saying earlier. Like, first of all, I think he's an incredible player. But you do question sometimes the decisions that he makes to stay out of the map at 30% HP. Little initiation here. Korok's going to be fine.
Stampede, Ice Shards, I'm not so sure. Oh, the snowball not going yet, but there's the Venomous Gale. He's going to try to TP out. No such luck. Korok, you are done, my friend. And that's Zai getting involved in yet another kill. Not even using Ravage's Universe, which he has it now, and he's level 7. In this game, again, Korok goes down in that bottom lane, so...
This is spiraling out of control. I mean, you've got to somehow find the space to get a fight in here as Navi US. Okay, there you go. This is a big kill if they can get it. They need to lock down Arteezy somehow.
Yeah, they will convert the kill on Arteezy.
Trade a tower for it, though.
Yeah, Arteezy for a tier 1 tower. I'm not sure if Arteezy really minds that depth. You talked about efficiency and how E farms a bit too out of position and gets caught out. But, I mean, that's a trade that he's willing to make in that situation, I think.
Right.
Although Snakey does put pressure on the tier 1 tower mid, but he realizes that there might be a gank coming towards him. They smoke up after the tier 1 tower, and now you've got to be careful if you're Navi US. This is a gank that you should understand is coming. I mean, they're all off the map right now. You have no vision of them. You have some okay observer wards, but you've got to be very careful. And a smart play from Navi US. Just back up with the TP rotations back home. There's no reason to get caught out of position, and really good to understand that they're off the map right now for EG.
Yeah, this is where, when I brought up Vici Gaming and Newbie in the draft, I feel like there are 3 teams right now, EG, Vici, and Newbie, that do this. They're just constantly rotating around the map. It's just got to feel up against them like you just don't have room to breathe. Because it's always a smoke, it's always a backdoor rotation. They're always accomplishing something with every one of their team. And it sounds like a small thing, but you always feel like you're under pressure.
Yeah, and this is you asked me earlier about Navi US feeling scared, and I think absolutely they do. Everywhere they go on the map, they're getting caught out of position, and finally they are the ones dictating play by getting that kill on RTZ in the top lane, and now trying to pressure this tier 1 in the mid lane. But this is going to be at the cost of a tier 2 in their top lane. And the glyph already goes, so if EG want to TP back and defend this, they absolutely can, because RTZ also has his Eclipse up and ready to go. And they, I think, will fight this here. Another TP coming in, that'll be from PPD, and now you have to back off from Navi US, lest you be caught out and well killed.
And there's no way that they're going to expect an engagement coming in from this angle. Oh, beautiful. That was fortunate. That was fortunate by Quark. Very nice blink.
And he almost got caught out of position. He does stay alive and backs away. And they're trying to pressure the map.
They did have a ward up here. All right, okay, that was very good on their part.
Just realizing that they were rotating through towards the mid lane. I think if you're EG, you might be able to TP and catch a couple arrows out of position, but not without a blink tech, which I think Universe has coming out to him now. Yeah, so 12-minute blink for a Tide, which is, it's an off-lane Tide. It's not the easiest thing to accomplish. A lot of that coming through towers, obviously, but still. Impressive nonetheless. Stampede, Fear might get caught on here. He's going to use his Poison Nova, and the stomp is going to come through. Telekinesis, Ice Blast as well, and they will bring Fear down, but now there's the Ice Path, beautifully done on Korok, and they will get the kill. Boom, PPD on the killing spree now. Well played. And actually, Way 2 has to TP out now. Bananas in your face getting chased down. Universe is like, nah, I don't have Gush. We don't need to get this kill.
And this is the thing about games like this. You look up and the kill score is only 7-5 in favor of EG. So you're like, okay, close game, right?
Well, now when you look at the net worth chart and it's not the graph. Right. Oh man, that changed quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, even though some of these engagements have been trades and Navi US has gotten kills in exchange, I mean, you look at the net worth chart and it's almost just with a couple of kinks there, it's a straight line.
Yeah, just a downward line, downward spiral, I would say, but that's not even the case. It's actually just Navi US getting absolutely obliterated in this game, and they've got to find a way to get back into this.
Here, and this is a big deal. They have to get something done on these rotations. I mean, killing Arteezy again. it may not be the right trade for some of these for giving up towers, but a kill here is huge.
They're going to TP to try to help him out, but no, they can't really do much there. They threw everything at him, and he does fall. So Doom used again, but I mean, if you're securing kills with Doom, at least you're getting something out of it. So he's done for another 25 seconds, and the thing is, though, he already does have his Yasha up, so, I mean...
Oh, man. Fear's going to have a pipe here before long, and that's going to be trouble. Early pipe on their lineup is very, very good.
Universe, Korok, actually, I think he destroyed that Gush. Nicely done there coming out as he blinked away immediately. Bottom lane, maybe Razor looking for Zai, but Zai's just going to back up. He's level 8 and he hasn't gotten Walrus Punch, so... interesting decisions being made coming out from Zai here. Now he skills it up finally, but...
Yeah, and the medallion rush is just absolutely wonderful. I mean, the medallion has about a 64% win rate on the Dire side in this version. It's such a good item, just for the Roshan alone, really.
Yeah, I mean, it'll give them that advantage to get into the Rosh pit, and with the damage they have through, I mean, RTZ, Plague Ward's obviously pretty nice. They could easily take Roshan quickly, and there's also a double damage rune that Fear grabs. That's the second of the game. He just got a double damage rune. He's got to pick up yet another one, so...
Wow.
RNG Ice Frog is with Fear today, but let's see if they can close this one out. They're looking for tier 2 towers. They still have, I mean, there's this wide lead, but it's not like Navios are completely out of it. Snaking is still not at his mech yet. That's really the biggest issue, I think, and I mean, without a mech at 15 minutes in, this is very far behind.
He desperately needs that last 200 gold because I don't think they can take a fight without this mech at all, and he might get caught out again here.
And they actually circled down here in this area. They have no idea that he's already, you know, over to the side shop and TPing out. So Snaking with some good map awareness gets away and gets out of harm's way. But, I mean, again, they have to play secure. They can't even move that far out of the map without getting ganked here because of great map control coming out from EG. I mean, these are some good Observer Ward placements as well. Mid lane, Fear going right on top of Fog. He drops the Ice Blast, and it looks like Fog might go down to the Poison Sting here. And they will deny him, but he still does die. So, nice play from Snaking at the least to get in there and deny him.
Yeah, and Snaking, okay, so it looks like Snaking with 30 gold left to go will probably have his mech unless he gets picked off by Fear here with a DE rune. That's kind of scary, man.
He's got that Venomous Gale ready to go, but nope, Snaking just heads to the top rune spot. Luckily finds out the Invis rune, and, well, here's the trade that we see so often. A tier 1 tower for Roshan. I mean, it happens in almost every Dota game I've seen in the past couple of months, so.
And it is at this point, and especially considering the tower that they are trading, it is incredibly unfavorable. And you know, if you were any less behind, you would try and take those 3 heroes and push ahead to the tier 2 tower. But they know the situation they're in. They can't afford to get caught 3v4, 3v5 right now. They would just get killed instantly.
Yeah, the good thing is that Roshan isn't falling as easily as EG would like, so. You look at Zai's.
I thought with the medallion that they'd have him down a little bit sooner, but they didn't really have anybody there to tank it, I guess.
No, you know, Helm of the Dominator for lifesteal for Luna either. So I mean,
a little bit surprised they don't have PPD's Jakiro up there for the Liquid Fire.
No, well, either way, I mean, PPD's actually just farming away the other lanes of the jungle currently. It looks like he'll be going for Yule's next, I'd imagine, or a Force Staff. Yeah. Yule's is the item that you see, the go-to item on Jakiro in the past patch.
Yule's Jakiro is just wonderful. It really is. The hero is kind of like an artillery anyway, and just that little extra move speed with the mana regen is really, really good. Mm-hmm. And by the way, just please build Urn. Like, not enough people build Urn. It's
such a good item.
If you're playing a pub game and your team doesn't have an Urn, you're probably doing something wrong, dude.
Like, it's so good for sieging also. Just, you know, okay, just put some pressure on some towers, get back, Urn up, and
exactly. That's the biggest single thing right now is you've got to have sustain, because the game is all about these pushes. You've got to have some device to sustain all of them. That's why, you know, Mech Razor, Mech Viper is such a huge thing. That's why Mech is getting nerfed, right? Urn is a poor man's Mech, and in some cases can be even better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so useful in many situations. Speaking of Urn, the Urn carrier PPD's going to get Ice Blasted. Fade bolted, they're going to jump on him, Stampede, Doom, Plasma Field, they throw everything at him, and they finally get the kill.
We got him, boys.
Yeah, we did it. That's 2 ultimates used, and they lose the tier 2 tower bottom because of it, although they gained the tier 1 in the mid lane. That is a Midas for a Doom as well, by the way. So they're really, I mean, it's not surprising that a Doom has a Midas in this game, but still, there's not much that they could do if they lose in the next couple of minutes or so, because the Doom Midas isn't really paying off just yet, so he does have a Blink Tiger, however, though, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean I guess I don't have that big a problem with it because of the blink, and frankly, you're probably not going to win this game as Navi US anytime in the next 15, 20 minutes anyway. Your only path back into this game is to try and force it late and farm up a little bit. Most of these heroes, with the exception of the Luna, do fall off for EG, so I can see it. It's much more of a. It's not even a catch-up Midas though. This is a desperation Midas.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he picked that up, but I think he's had it for some time. And
yeah.
The only other thing now on the other side is that RTZ does have his BKB completed. He has his Yasha. I mean, he could just wait till he gets his Manta, and then they could push in. But by that point, maybe the Aegis is gone. So I think they probably pressure here in the next couple of minutes and just try to take a tier 2 and then get to the high ground.
Yeah, there's no they've got all the tools they want. Fear's gonna have his he has his pipe up now. He actually has his Aghanims toward his point booster toward his Aghanims, other way around. They've got all the tools they need really to push here, and they have plenty of room for growth left. Like I said, Navi US really need to win realistically probably about 2 or 3 straight fights to give themselves a real chance here.
I mean, they're down so far, and actually they have climbed back into it a bit for net worth. I mean, it's 5,000 in favor of EG still, which is not nearly as bad as the 7,500 they had a moment ago.
Yeah, you're always going to see that though. I mean, that's kind of even with this relatively early game heavy lineup. I mean, unless it just turns into a complete stomp with them throwing a couple of fights, which Navi did execute in some engagements to prevent that, they're going to stagnate a little bit. Right, while the last as the last outer towers go down.
Nope. There it goes. Fear does get the last tier 2 for Navi US, and now Korok's actually getting wrapped on here. And Ice Path misses, and Korok is going to try to get out here, but Macro Pyra, Ice Shards, he forces himself away. Stampede going as well. Dual Breath, Universe looking for Ravage. He's going to find it. And Gush to follow up as well. There's the Snowball. The Ice Path perfectly on point. Liquid Fire, Stomp, only hits on Universe. Now Blink and Walrus Punch from Zai. And they're using a lot just to get this kill, but they do finally pick up Korok, who is now down for 42 seconds. A really great pickup there coming out from those 3 heroes.
Yeah, but that was well played by Korok, both to make the kill as expensive as possible for them and to spend all his gold before he died. So, that's... Well, not all of it, but most of it in picking up the broadsword and the chainmail toward his blade mail. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I mean, you make that kill as expensive as you can. He's going to be up before they reach the high ground, but Snaking really cannot afford to give up a kill here.
No, he's in an okay position, although Zai's looking to blink down and Walrus Punch and all that jazz. But he needs another hero, I think, to be involved in this kill. And, yeah, you mentioned it. They use a lot for that kill. There's no Ravage up now. So even if they wanted to push high ground, I don't think they would. Or even if they could, rather, because it's just they're in a position now where they get a kill, yes, but it's more so just to make sure that Korok can't farm freely. Snake King is I think, the bigger target here, the bigger threat, because he almost has Zaghanim Scepter, and for Navi US to have an Ags on your Razor is maybe a comeback mechanic here. But
yeah,
I don't know if it's enough.
The issue for them is going to be that Razor is going to finish up his Aghanim soon, but Fear is making some progress toward his as well. And that's, at this point in the game, with the hero levels that they have going on Navi US, I mean, Korok is okay here, but he's only level 11. And Ag's Veno ult is going to hurt a lot.
You imagine if he gets that to level 3?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now. I mean, fortunately, the way experience scales, the distance between level 13 and 16 is substantial. But yeah, if this is the thing, you think about Venomancer ordinarily falling off at around this point in the game. Fear is not close to falling off right now. He's got another at least 10 or 12 minutes where he's going to be very, very strong.
And he will continue to farm in the top lane while the rest of his team pressures through the mid and then jungle into that bottom lane. There's the Manta style coming out for RTZ that we were talking about. So his next item is done, and this is what RTZ loves to do. He just loves to farm and hit creeps, and he's going to try to do so. He's going to head to the H to stack as well. Korok is making his way to an area where he previously died, although now he's in an okay position where he should live just fine. Universe does have his Ravage, by the way, back up and ready to go. And the rest of the Navi US squad are going to sit top lane, and there's the Aghanim Scepter coming up for the Razor as well. So, again, now it's just about controlling the map here for EG, making sure that Navi US can't get too far outside of their base, and kind of just starving them from getting any other kills or last hits, so...
Yeah, and you kind of said the key word though, map control. If you just could draw a line right, of the paths of the different players over the last few minutes. So Fear is going to go down here.
No, he gets brought low.
Wow. Interesting decision by him. I thought he stuck around there. He knew that Navi US had a presence in that lane too, and he stuck around there pretty long. I'm a little bit surprised by that, but again, I still feel like EG are getting the better trades around the map. They're just able to control so much more real estate right now.
That's the thing. Honestly, and this actually pushing this in gives RTZ even more creeps to farm here in the top lane. Just another easy access point coming out for this Luna. And at some point, and LD talks about this a lot, but this Luna's going to hit Godzilla level. Like there's not really much you can do to stop a Luna that is 6 slotted. It doesn't happen. You have a Satanic, you have a Butterfly, you have a Manta BKB, bots and another item. I don't know what. I'm sure I'm missing something here, but
there are heroes that can do it, and one of them is the Doom. Okay, that's. People really tend to underestimate how good Doom is in the late game. I mean, Doom has like this crazy almost 70% win rate when games go past like I think it's either 40 or 50 minutes. One of them is 65 and the other is 70. But he is really, really good in theory against EG's lineup, because EG, if the game gets late enough, will have not that much apart from the Luna. The thing is, it is just going to take so long to get there. And I just... Navi US is going to have to pull off a couple of really, really good fights to generate that kind of time in this match.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to be the game for it either. Especially Korok has played okay, but I don't know if it's been well enough. We talk about how good that he can be, and in this game, it's just been kind of rough for pretty much every hero in Navi US. You could see, honestly, Fog was getting run down by Xi Illusions, and he was complaining about it in all chat. So he is building towards an Ags, and he has his point booster, so he's well on his way, but he still needs a couple more fights or even just some CS to get there. Snaking backing off some nice, again, map awareness to realize that the rest of EG are coming through. And Xi has down with Vitality Booster, so we'll see what he builds towards next. He already has it down like we talked about. Meta-style illusions are pushing at top pretty far, and Bananas is actually taking a decent chunk of damage just from them alone, even with Scorched Earth pop, so... Oh boy. Stampede?
Oh, okay, it's a kill, man. I'll take it.
And PPD gets brought down low. They steal Ice Path. One of the best spells to steal in the game, alongside, obviously, Burrow Strike.
Fisher.
Yeah, everything, really. I mean...
And Split Earth, right? That 0 cast point on the Rubik is so important when he steals those kinds of spells. Yeah. Interesting to me. They are going to finally. PPD was in the process anyway, and it just finished up his mech when he got killed. I actually thought that they would skip that item entirely. I thought one of the better decisions in this game to me is Fear rushing that pipe. When ordinarily you see a mech, he says, "Nope, there's an AA on their team. That mech doesn't do me any good." That pipe is terrific.
Yeah, that pipe is huge. But the thing that I have a problem with is that they're not really using it. They're not pushing in. They're not really grabbing any kills with the Pipe of Insight, helping them out to defend from that Ice Blast. So
I'm a little surprised, right? EG have felt like they've kind of let up on the gas a little bit in the last few minutes. And again, it's hard to fault them too much for that when RTZ is getting so big. But at the same time, they do need to recognize, which I'm sure they do, that they do have a limited window. And I think Veno's Ags being up, Jakiro's mech is now up. This might signal kind of the beginning of the end. They may go for the finisher here, especially with the Aegis on RTZ.
Yeah, the Roshan is going to be really an important note. And they're going to let the Tier 2 tower go. And I mean, Navi US know exactly what's happening now. They have an understanding that they're taking Roshan, but they'd rather just take the Tier 2 tower. Snakey will push into the Tier 3 and maybe get some chip damage on that tower. But at that point, Roshan's going to go down. RTZ will have the Aegis, and it's time for them to defend the tower. And yep, Snaking just puts like 1 or 2 hits and the tower backs up, and that's going to be it for that tower pressure. So now you just push out top. Bottom lane's already getting pushed in here. Korok will have to defend it. Mid lane's already pressured as well. So get all of the lanes pushed in and then go for a Tier 3 tower, whether that's top, whether that's mid, whether that's bottom. That remains up to EG, and they have all of the items, which we talked about before. They have all of the items to make this work now.
Yeah, I mean, apart from RTZ just going ham in a couple of fights and getting another couple thousand gold, you're probably not going to be any stronger relative to the opponent than you are right now. This next couple of minutes is pretty much do or die for Navi US, and they probably need to win more than one fight.
They're in an okay position to take a fight right now if they can get you here out of position, and that's PPD. He actually gets telekinesis. He was trying to force stuff onto the low ground. Gets stomped up. He is going to fall, and that BKB was popped as well for the Doom. So that's just knowing that everyone is split up here for EG. But Zai and Fear, it looks like they want to fight right now. Snake King might get caught out. There's the Poison Sting. Ice Shard's going as well. Meanwhile, jumping from Universe. Doom onto him. Poison Nova is going to fly. That does a lot of damage. Ice Blast sailing through. Misses on Universe. It looks like, no, he did get hit by it and will fall. And that's Fog getting the kill. Snake King getting low. There's the Walrus Punch. Snake King still alive, barely. Zai now getting brought down low. The Ice Path was stolen. 3 down, and EG are now feeding away kills to Navi US, making this game a lot more even than it needs to be.
And that is so much, that's even better than winning a fight at your base steps, right? They engaged on their terms down to the jungle. I did not think that they were going to make that offensive rotation, but I absolutely love it. It shows a great recognition of the game situation. You know you're going to have to win a fight. Why would you wait for them to come to you if you can engage on your terms? And starting the fight with a kill on PPD there, that was really, really nice. It robs them a lot of that AoE control. They were able to take him out before he got any of his spells out, and they were able to get the Doom off on Universe and just barely nicked at the edge of that Ice Blast, which removed him from the fight as well. That was as good an engagement as Navi US could possibly have had right there.
Yes, and that wasn't necessarily EG playing poorly, although I feel like the decision to engage off of that was maybe a mistake.
Yeah.
I think that was just really well played from Navi US, and on top of that, that gives Fog pretty much his Aghanim Scepter, and, well, Wei-2 might just ruin it all by getting caught out. He's going to telekinesis, but it looks like he will fall. He is going to use the Walrus Punch, which he stole, which was cute, but does nothing. Ice Blast! Only connects on Fear. No, actually misses everybody. That's huge. And now they're going to pressure the tier 3 tower bottom. So as bad as a fight as they've just had, they don't even care. They're going to go for the high ground now with Arteezy having his Aegis. So
yeah, Korok finishes his heart, and Wei-2 does have buyback here.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And there we go. Buyback from the Rubik, although maybe not that big of a deal. I think if Snake King had died and had buyback, that'd be a bit more important, wasting that, obviously. But he doesn't even have buyback at this point. None of the real cores from, other than Doom, from Navi US have buyback, so. And there's the Manta Style going to work now on the tier 3 tower, so. Again, it's siege time, I think, here for EG.
Yeah, I feel like if AC were here, we'd be talking about saber rattling, because that's kind of what's going on. Arteezy, boy, it's still, this is the thing that I really appreciate about him, that he just keeps making progress. Regardless of what the team's doing, he's going to keep making that progress toward the next item, almost as his butterfly online.
He's one of the most efficient players in that regard. I mean, a lot of people talk about efficiency, and I think Arteezy's one of the best. He's going to walk right into Snake King with the static link. Ice Blast is going to sail through. It's going to hit on Universe. It looks like Arteezy does get hit up by it. Snake King BKBs as well. Fear now pipe. He does get off his Poison Nova. Macro Power coming in. Snowball as well. Doom was up. They're going to try to fight this. Fear needs to get away, but will fall. Zai goes down as well. 2 for O trade. Now Snake getting brought low by the Glaze, but not nearly enough damage. They won't kill anybody, although bringing them all low with that Poison Nova. Universe wants this Ravage. He's going to pop it. No, he finally does get it off. He gets 1 kill. A double kill now coming through. And 2 for 2 trade in the end. He does pop it at the bitter end of that fight. I didn't think he was going to use it there. He canceled it twice before actually using it. They still can't get the tier 3 tower, but that was a man fight if I've ever seen one. My God.
Oh, I just have to catch my breath after.
Oh, that. Universe, look out! All right, that hurts. I don't think he's dead, okay. But yeah, he's fine.
There's no Ags yet. Oh no, Fog does have his Ags. Oh,
yeah, but I don't think it's going to kill him. I'd be very surprised. Yeah, it's not going to kill him, but
he's fine.
Still annoying for Universe. That's a butterfly now done for Arteezy as well at 31 minutes in. And, well. That's,
to me, it's something that is important to think about, because a lot of times when you see other teams it sort of ball up and make those pushes like that, their carries have stopped farming. And just the fact that Arteezy is still making progress toward his next item, oh boy.
Oh, he is lucky. So, my God. Okay. Whew. Fog's like, I had him. But now they have an understanding of this reward here, although it's going to go down anyways in about 25 seconds, so no need to counter it. But yeah, at this point, Aegis is getting reclaimed in another 30 seconds, and I don't think EG are going to fight without an Aegis in this game. It just doesn't seem like it.
Even though it's getting close to the point where they maybe should think about it. Well, okay, never mind. I think they can now.
That is a refresher orb done on, and we see this every time, is that Universe is able to pick up that refresher orb on like 30 minutes on the spot. Although it's 32 now, it's still just he times that so well. They could find this farm, and well, now they could definitely really get some damage out here. I mean, you have a couple of BKBs, yes, coming out for Navi US squad, but oh, Zai blinking in, gets doomed. He's gonna fall instantly, it looks like, and now you have to think twice about fighting here for EG. Zai does buyback, he TPs in. They want to take an engagement here, but they cannot find anybody. A hasty buyback from Zai coming in.
This is fine though. They can I like it. They can still just ball up and push, and Universe can be as aggressive as he wants, basically.
Zaya using the ice shards does catch Snaking. He's actually in a lot of trouble here. Snowball is gonna go. It has Universe inside of it. Meanwhile, there's the BKB flying. Another one as well. Universe getting caught out. He does get Ice Blasted as well. He's going to fall in just a second here. He should shatter down to the Ice Blast. He goes down to Snaking's right click, and they get the courier kill. Beautifully done for Snaking. Fear now trying to make his way out of there. There's going to be the Cold Feet coming in, the Macro Pyre. They do pop the Pipe of Insight, and Fear does survive, but it just feels like EG are not finding the right engagements. They're going to try to fight.
A little bit over-aggressive by Zai there.
Snaking is just going to TP away nicely.
Yeah. It's just a little bit too over-aggressive by Zai there. It's a good idea to try to catch Snaking up, but I mean, at this point, right, 3 of their heroes have Blink. Okay, well, no, two of them have Blink, and Rubik's got a 4-staff. But still, when you've got a Doom that can blink in on your Tide, you got to be awfully careful. Refresh Orb or no, you got to be awfully careful about grabbing Tidehunter and that Snowball. I sort of was questioning that as it happened. It looked like it might end up being a big play, but that's the right play. I mean, basically, the whole Navi US team sort of stayed out of that, with the exception of Bananas on the Doom that blinked right in and locked down Universe.
Yeah, that was a really smart play. And I think the real big issue for EG is locking this Doom down. And at the beginning of the game, when you talked about how Doom was this late game type of hero, I was kind of like, I don't know if it's going to help them. I mean, they're pretty far behind in this situation, but the more I'm looking at this right now for MJW.
At the net worth graph.
Yeah, I mean,
are you kidding me?
They're right back into it. Navi US have now evened things up, and we haven't talked about this in a while because EG honestly hasn't really participated in it, but is the throw real? I mean, they have that courier. Fear is using it, I believe. Bottom lane, Zai gets cut out yet again. Ice Shards, 4-stepped in. He's going to try to use the Snowball and get out of there, but they're actually just kind of being very passive about this. He will make a way. He's going to retreat, so.
How the tables have turned. I mean, Navi US now the ones forcing the action. This is a nice little split push here by Arteezy, but you got to be a little careful because Navi US can force a fight.
Yeah, they want to. They TP Arteezy back, and actually that just signals the retreat of Snaking. And now EG are like, listen, we don't want to get too over-aggressive here. They could have maybe tried to fight on the back end of that, but they decide against it. Now Roshan should be up in another minute and a half, so that's going to be another...
It ends up being a really big deal.
Yes.
That EG's mid T2 and both of their bot lane towers are still up. This is a huge Roshan advantage that they've got.
And that's the one thing, they might be in a position right now where they're starting to lose the momentum, but they always have that access to Roshan. And assuming they don't lose a hero or two on the back end of a bad fight, they can take that Roshan pretty much whenever they want to. Other than obviously Navi US smoking, there's not much they can do about it. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. We've seen EG take so many games late that looked a little bit shaky by leveraging that Roshan advantage. I still remember, we referred to it in the last series, that incredible Smash Brewmaster game where they pushed the game out and they had a weak difference.
Again, in this game, the difference maker, they're late Luna, so he's got 4,000 gold to make as well, so
yeah,
he's farmed.
He's mega farmed, but again, they really... sense don't have another core here in another little while, because as well as he's played and as effective as that Aghanims has made him, fall off here eventually.
He's gotten caught Nova off. Like, how much is that doing for them? Yeah, they're getting them off the back end of a Poison Nova, and it's just
yeah, go ahead.
It's just like you see it in practice, and you see that the Poison Nova can do some work here if they get the perfect fight. But Navi US has made him not, but they've dealt with him effectively in this game, so.
Yeah, I'm glad I took time to check that, because I was about to say you got to remember that Veno becomes effective again later in the game, potentially as the BKB durations get really short.
Yes.
But Snaking's BKB is still at 8 seconds, and Bananas is still at 7.
Which is actually impressive, considering how much I thought. Not really that many big clashes for Bananas to pop his BKB, nor with those long durations. Really important. Also, can we just talk about this real quick? That
I like it. I mean, I probably be better ways to nerf the item, but I kind of
10 seconds but well, no longer from buying a second one. And they will try to take Roshan again, but again, Snake King's going to try to pressure the top lane, and they actually might get more through tower. Well, maybe not actually. The creep wave does come out, but no contention coming out from Navius. They don't want to try to, defend this or fight this. They don't want to try to deal with it. And Universe actually does pick up the cheese here, which is very nice, assuming he doesn't get doomed. So
that's kind of the question. Third Roshan, and you have cheese, giving that Aegis to Universe, because he's been getting doomed completely.
No, often. That's actually a good point. I'm not sure. I think at this point, Arteezy is just too big of a hero to let go down. And now that he doesn't even go for Satanic, he just goes straight for Heart. But I think Heart's an okay item in this situation. I think this is a smart decision from him.
I mean, I think that hinges on the presence of the AA.
Yeah,
I think that without the AA in the game, you definitely go for Satanic. But I admit that the Heart here is probably the way to go.
So Arteezy is level 20, and now, as aggressive as EG was in the first 10 minutes of this game, the last 20 have been purely passive. However, Korok is going to get caught out by a Lucent Beam. He cannot blink now. He is going to pop the Blade Mail. He does have Stampede. They missed the Ice Path there. That was going to be a huge Ice Path had it connected, but no such luck, and he will get away scot-free for the most part. And the Ice Blast hits on Arteezy. So.
Yeah. Little bit surprised, by the way, that we haven't seen Korok go for a BKB here. I certainly appreciate the AC or Mjolnir build. Either one probably will be an AC. Oh no, he is going to go for the Mjolnir.
That's not lightning.
I mean, hey, gotta ride the lightning, my man. But I feel like, you have been locking down Universe, getting the Doom off on him before he gets the Ravage. But it's only a matter of time, man. There is going to be one of these fights where Universe is able to hit that really powerful double Ravage combo. I mean, I worry a little bit, right? Because it only takes one to end the game at this point, still for EG.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the buybacks, but none on Korok or on Wave 2, so the big thing is, I think, keeping Snake King and Doom up and ready in these fights. And for the other side, EG, they're just missing a buyback on Tide, but they don't really need it at this point. They're going to go straight for the Tier 3 tower. The Glyph is available. They will use it. Tier 3 gets rather low. Ice Path does connect to Korok, and now they're just going to try to clear this creep wave out here. And, well, Arteezy, he takes it. Ice Blast sailing through. It might not connect on anybody. They get the debuff off, but no actual hitting of the Ice Blast coming through. There's the Eclipse going in right now, looking to try to fight on Zoom. Static going as well. Snake King going to lose all of that damage. There's the Walrus Punch on MJW, but no damage really being taken. And Arteezy is just zoning back Snake King and Fogged as well, whereas the rest of the fight's still going on the backside. They take down the Centaur Runner, who, by the way, like we said, has no buyback. And now Arteezy just gets back up with the Aegis, and they're going to take the racks here. And there's now the refresher or purchase for Razor, but they're going to lose a set of racks off the back end of them losing Centaur on Korok dying. So
yeah, and my question is going to be, are they going to be able to hold the mid racks here? Because I don't know. I feel like in this situation, if you're going to buy out for an item, it almost has to be BKB. It's just such a tough thing. I understand Korok's thinking. I don't know that the risk reward was there.
They didn't get anything done with it, and Arteezy just zoned out the rest of the squad so effectively that they couldn't really help out Korok and keep him alive. Ice Blast is going to sail through again. It misses on most of those heroes, and there's going to be the snowball coming in now, actually just making sure that they lose a lot of it. Now they're going to go right on a Snake King. There's the Ravage as well. They do hit up the snowball. Refresher going as well. Walrus Punch. Snake King is going to fall. He'll be forced to buy back. Potentially, they just call it GG.
No buyback. That's game, yeah. Now, Snake King was about 500 gold short of buyback, and it's so unfortunate for Navi US. I thought they put up the great fight in this game. We're really back into a match that for a lot of the first 20 minutes looked like they were going to get steamrolled out of, but ultimately that was kind of the thing. When you get off to an early game advantage like that, this is what you buy yourself. You buy yourself a situation where you can end the game with one good fight, and it took them a couple of tries, but eventually EG were able to do just that.
They just keep hitting themselves up against that Navi US wall, and, eventually they do break, and Navi US go down 0-1 in the series. EG looking to close this out in the next game. Obviously, best of 3 series determining who goes on to the grand finals for the American qualifiers. Remember, only one team makes it out. The loser will go on to face another team. I don't want to reveal the spoilers, but you can check that out, obviously, on multiple different sites, obviously on youtube.com/BeyondTheSummit. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we'll be back in just a minute. Again, my name is Malt. With me is Nahaz. You can follow us, twitter.com/MaltDota and twitter.com/NahazDota as well. We'll be back in just a second with game number 2. Stick around.
esportsbets.com, a unique place for true gamers. The only place to bet on esports events. You know your way around a competitive gaming scene and are willing to take a risk? Watch regular broadcasts and earn real money. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.